Let's do another round.
Mr. Grass genocide. How about there, maybe? Let's try that.
Well, howdy. Howdy, another installment of, what was this called? This one's called Grass Genocide. That was what it was. Where I conquer a ditch. In the last episode, I ended up saying the dawn of order. That concept basically applies to when I'm weed eating here. This is all like growed up, supposedly weeds that's out in the open where it can get sunlight. When you're up in the woods, you really don't see a bunch of weeds. It's only when you clear away the trees that this happens, that there's even work for me to do. If everything was all wooded and the ground cover, there really isn't much weeds in the woods. That's not a thing because there's too much shade and it's not, I mean, they don't grow. So this whole thing is just a product of deforestation even, which, I don't know, when everything's got no trees, you ain't got no limbs to keep out your grass. I can see that, but again, you got trees to give you shade and stuff, and it's interesting. So giving order to this ditch where it can flow again, though, when something does have, like in this instance, the ditch needs to flow, this is it keeps the water from slowly leaving. It needs to actually get out, so there ain't like a backup and stuff, and somebody ends up getting flooded basically because it's without proper drainage. This is a thing that because we've gone the way we've gone with housing and stuff, I'd rather we had swamps somehow probably than agriculture. I don't know. I'm trying to compare it logically, how it was and how it is today, and it kind of still don't add up quite the way we do things. It just isn't very logical. When you ain't got logic in play, you don't get very orderly. Now, on the same token, nature itself looks like a wild beast, and it's all mangled, and it just goes, everything grows here, there, and everywhere. Leaves fall here, there, and everywhere. Branches fall here, there, and everywhere. But in a proper wood ecosystem, it's very highly ordered. It's just a matter of man's kind of forgot to order, and therefore nature has gotten more and more different and alien from all mankind, except for like indigenous native people who are really hardcore on knowing the plants and animals and how everything operates. And once you see how everything operates and interconnected and stuff, you actually see that there's a really, really intricate, complex order that's just happening all the time, that really, with the weed eating and all the clearing and stuff, we're just kind of erasing what's actually already established. And the dawn of order, well, it makes it look pretty and all, and I mean, they are hard to mow, and once it gets woolly, it gets woolly. Boy, George, it got woolly on this one for sure. It's like one of the wool. Well, the ditch before it had more saplings in it that I had to cut, and I'll end up whipping out the buzzsaw here later on this week, probably on this ditch. But getting back on the order of things, logic in the Bible, I think, has a sound mind. The way I end up having a sound mind is usually from logic. Emotions run us, and it gets wild like this, and it ain't tame. It's just growing any which way and whatever have you. Now, is it the plant's fault? No, I don't think they're being malicious by any means. I think they're just trying to survive, you know. But here I am. I'm pretty much just chopping their heads off and then chopping up their bodies and then oh, there goes their feet. There goes yum 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 yum, just gobbling them. Jeepers jolly! I am a madman. Holy jappers! This little chunk's going pretty good now. I'm just giving it a haircut. Just giving the ground a haircut. Dang. But yeah, my front yard is all woolly. I'll have to show a picture of it, something like that. For a guy who's handling a weeder, you think that my stuff would be all prim and pruned, but no, I'm letting it run wild. It's pretty wild. If my dad didn't hit it with the bush hog the other day, I really wouldn't have a spot to pull up in. I ain't lying. But on the upside, I have now a big, actually, little bunch of passion flowers and passion fruit that I'm gonna have to look up and see if they're edible or what to do with the things. So anybody knows about passion flowers and passion fruit, yep, I got some in my front yard finally, and they is one of the prettiest flower I know of. Passion flower is pretty nice. So, oh mercy had us. What is this, Sunday? Yeah, I'm getting ready to go to work tomorrow. Dang, it was. But yeah, what else? Weed eating. Maybe an old story from Austin. What was a wood story? Oh, no, I ain't gonna tell that one just yet. Save it for later on. I do know these weeds are wicked tough. You can't just go at them straight. If you go at them straight, your line, it eats your line, and they chop off into big chunks. So when dealing with these like tomato plant bush thingies, when they're about your pinky size, you can kind of pull them, cut them pretty easy. They start getting about thumb size, they start wanting to like whack, whack, whack. So what I found out while I'm going up and around on them, I'm angling the weed eater line at a bevel like a 45, to where it ain't hitting them at a straight on. It's hitting them kind of glancing them, and it's actually cutting them pretty decent. That's how I got through this little patch. I'm pretty sure I angled that sucker just a hair, and I'm going up and around from the bottom to up the tops, and yeah, I ended up just eating them up pretty dang good with that saw. It's got a special like 3-ply, 3 different plastic string that the boys got me. He's good like that. And yeah, I'm doing my best not to abuse the tool that the good Lord and rope boys blessed me to let me use, that my dad didn't. So yep, I'm weed whacking boy now. Oh, grass genocide. Yeehaw. Yep, but I got this one licked. Yeah, wow. That wasn't too bad. I got about 8-9 minutes. That wasn't too bad for a little chunk. See, it whittles on with it. Oh boy, I think I'm about halfway sweaty. That's almost me trying to win a wet t-shirt contest, looks like. I could draw an owl, wet draw owl guy on there. Yeah. Oh mercy. But let's see. Maybe I'll hit it again here in a minute. That's enough for a minute yet.
Shoot, yeah, it's still recording. How about that? Well, next boat. Watch my ass work down here. Yeah, y'all. That looks like some grass. Still doing it. Still doing it.
So, going back on order and all, the Greeks, they got a place called the Taurus, where there is no up or down, it's a solid black, and there's no order, there's no direction, there's no sunlight, because there ain't no God's light, and it's cold, but it's like freezer burn cold. My cousin Tanya, she asked Jesus to take her there, and when he was channeling and writing on legal pads, he took her there, and whoever or whatever presence it was, hopefully it was actually Jesus, had a holy presence and stuff, because I went and called him illiterate, so he ended up channeling himself through my cousin, and wrote on like 7 or 8 legal pads, a little stack of them. And one winter there, sure enough, I read Jesus' writings. Pretty far out. There's a bunch of encouraging little messages and such. I was briefly, just barely even, I wasn't even mentioned, but my mom and my aunt were. And I guess I got a ministry somewhat, according to it, give out crowns. I went and looked into that. That was some wild stuff. So, yeah, Catholics do the crowns and stuff. But where did I go off? I went off on a little squirrel tangent there with things, Jesus' writings. How did that... Oh, order and stuff. And hell being no order and stuff. And that's where going wild, people go wild, animals go wild. They exhibit certain patterns and behaviors that end up causing the people or things that are tame, causes them grief and pain and loss of young and all kinds of shenanigans. So there seems like this big old battle between chaos and randomness and seemingly random, but it's some order. And then there's just a supposed order and lines and curves and such. And I'm finding the straight lines and angles that you see in these trailers in the background represent masculine, like the sunlight. And the curves that you see in the plant and on the pole and trees and stuff, that all represents the feminine. And basically with the weed eater, I'm just going through and trying to bring balance between the two. And you can even look at our whole world or society as a balance between the expression of hemispheres, masculine and feminine characteristics, and the genders and such. And it's all around us. It's all around us, folks. It does take your right eye to see, but it's just a trained eye on what's what and where it's what. So, yeah, order. And so the good things and holy things seem to be quite orderly and such, that kind of beat back the random. Oh, it brings me back up to black mold. My grandma's house miracle, where there was this home material picture that it was the only thing in the whole house that didn't have any mold on it. And literally, you think, oh, it's got something in the painting that kept the mold at bay and kept the mold off of it. But no, all it was a Christian poem. But I guess it was a powerful poem because it literally on the wall, there was like a 2 or 3 inch border around the whole home material painting. This thing was like a good 2 feet by 2.5 feet or so. It was a big full-size picture, and grapevines and a fiddle. You can get your hands on it. It may be actually a holy artifact somehow, but I saw it repel mold like a force field. And what I'm figuring is that our ancients had some sort of, they seen the same thing, especially if mold was going to rot the grain. Then anything that's kind of holy that repels mold would be freaking the meaning of life and death. So any drawings or any of that stuff that was holy, yeah, you put that around your stuff and keep the good juju going, and you keep an orderly environment. That's why like the Chinese or Japanese, the feng shui and stuff. But looks like our time's about over. So happy jolly jollies. This has been another installment of the old GENOCIDE.
That chia pet met his demise.